hijacker vanished with ransom money November 24th, 1971. The skies above the Pacific Northwest were leaden, mirroring the mood that would soon grip the nation. Thanksgiving was just a day away, but onboard Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a different kind of drama was brewing. A nondescript man, traveling under the name Dan Cooper, settled into seat 18C. He was unremarkable, average height, dark suit, a black tie neatly clipped with a mother-of-pearl tie pin. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, and waited. No one could have guessed that this seemingly ordinary passenger was about to etch his name into the annals of aviation history, not as a hero, but as a ghost, and the faint, almost imperceptible clicking of a briefcase lock should have been the first chilling note of a symphony of audacity. The flight was routine, almost soporific. The Boeing 727 lumbered into the air, its engines a familiar drone. Cooper, however, was far from relaxed. Shortly after takeoff, he handed a note to Florence Schaffner, a young flight attendant. Assuming it was a phone number, she casually slipped it into her purse. Cooper leaned in, his voice low and deliberate. "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Florence, initially dismissive, unfolded the message. It was written in neat block letters, stating his claim and demanding $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills, 2 back parachutes, and 2 chest parachutes. Her blood ran cold. The era of skyjacking wasn't new, but this felt different, colder. What followed was a bizarre negotiation carried out at 10,000 feet. Florence, relaying Cooper's demands to the cockpit, became an unwilling intermediary in a high-stakes game. The pilots, in turn, contacted air traffic control, who alerted the authorities on the ground. The FBI scrambled, a whirlwind of activity against the backdrop of a darkening sky. Passengers remained oblivious, some even joking about the delay. But as the gravity of the situation became clear, a palpable tension filled the cabin. One passenger noticed Cooper calmly observing the flurry of activity, a slight smirk playing on his lips, a predator watching his prey. Meanwhile, back on the ground, chaos reigned. Gathering $200,000 in unmarked bills proved to be a logistical nightmare. Every $20 bill had to be meticulously photographed for later identification. The parachutes were sourced from a local skydiving school, their bright colors a stark contrast to the grim task at hand. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a sense of urgency gripped the FBI. The longer Cooper held the plane, the more unpredictable he became. Time was running out, and the world was watching. The plane circled above Seattle-Tacoma International Airport for hours, waiting for the ransom to be assembled. Finally, as darkness enveloped the airfield, a man in a raincoat delivered the money and parachutes to the plane. Cooper, satisfied, released the 36 passengers and 2 flight attendants. Florence Schaffner, shaken but unharmed, later provided a detailed description of the hijacker, cementing the image of the enigmatic Dan Cooper in the public imagination. But even at this early stage, inconsistencies began to emerge in witness accounts, planting the seeds of future doubt and speculation. With the ransom and parachutes secured, Cooper ordered the pilots to fly south toward Mexico at a low altitude of 10,000 feet and a slow airspeed. He specified that the rear door of the Boeing 727, equipped with the infamous air stair, should remain open. This detail, seemingly innocuous, would become a critical piece of the puzzle, suggesting a level of planning and familiarity with the aircraft that defied simple explanation. The pilots, bound by his demands and fearing for their lives, complied. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, over the rugged terrain of southwestern Washington, Cooper lowered the air stair and jumped into the stormy night. The exact moment remains a mystery. Lost to the darkness and the howling wind, the pilots felt a slight change in air pressure, a subtle shift in the plane's balance, and knew that Cooper was gone. He had vanished into thin air, taking the ransom money and his secrets with him, but the mystery surrounding his disappearance was only just beginning. An extensive manhunt ensued, involving hundreds of FBI agents, local law enforcement, and even civilian volunteers. They scoured the dense forests and treacherous mountains of the Pacific Northwest, searching for any trace of Cooper or the ransom money, but the search yielded little. A few scattered clues emerged: a tie clip, a parachute bag, and some ransom money found years later on a riverbank. But these only deepened the enigma. The case, once a sensational news story, slowly morphed into a legendary unsolved mystery. Over the years, countless theories have emerged, each more outlandish than the last. Some believe Cooper was a disgruntled airline employee with intimate knowledge of the Boeing 727. Others suggest he was a seasoned skydiver with a death wish, or a Vietnam veteran seeking revenge on the establishment. Still others propose that he died during the jump, his body lost forever in the wilderness. But the truth, like Cooper himself, remains elusive, hidden behind a veil of speculation and unanswered questions. Then came the bombshell. In 2011, the FBI revealed that Cooper may not have been the experienced skydiver everyone assumed. They discovered that the parachutes he demanded were intentionally sabotaged. One was sewn shut, and the other was a training chute, unsuitable for a high-altitude jump. This revelation completely upended the prevailing theories, suggesting that Cooper's plan wasn't necessarily to survive, but to disappear, regardless of the consequences. Had he intended to die all along, making the ransom money merely a macabre parting gift to his family? A new suspect emerged, a former military paratrooper named Kenneth Christiansen. He had worked as a flight mechanic for Northwest Orient Airlines and possessed a striking resemblance to the composite sketch of Cooper. He also had a suspicious amount of cash shortly after the hijacking. While circumstantial, the evidence was compelling. But Christiansen died in 1994, taking any potential confession to the grave. The FBI investigated, but ultimately, they couldn't definitively link him to the crime. The shadow of doubt lingered, another tantalizing clue in a case overflowing with them. In 2016, the FBI officially suspended the active investigation, citing a lack of conclusive evidence. The case of D.B. Cooper, as he became known due to a media misreporting, was relegated to the cold case files, a monument to audacity and unsolved mystery. But the public fascination with Cooper never waned. He became a folk hero, a symbol of rebellion against authority, a modern-day Robin Hood who dared to defy the system and vanish without a trace. His legend continued to grow, fueled by books, movies, and endless speculation. The recovered ransom money, though only a fraction of the total, offered a tantalizing glimpse into the aftermath of the jump. Discovered along the banks of the Columbia River in 1980, the decaying bills confirmed that Cooper had indeed jumped with the money. But where did the rest of it go? Was it buried somewhere in the wilderness, waiting to be discovered? Or did Cooper, or someone else, manage to spend it undetected, slowly integrating it back into the economy? The unanswered questions swirled, adding another layer of intrigue to the already complex case. The case's cultural impact is undeniable. D.B. Cooper inspired countless copycats, though none achieved his level of notoriety. He became a figure of myth, a symbol of the anti-establishment spirit that permeated the 1970s. His story resonated with those who felt disenfranchised and powerless, offering a vicarious thrill through his audacious act of defiance. But beyond the romanticized image, Cooper's hijacking served as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of air travel and the enduring power of unsolved mysteries to capture the public imagination. Perhaps the most chilling irony lies in the fact that D.B. Cooper, whoever he was, achieved exactly what he set out to do. He vanished. He became a ghost in the machine, a phantom in the skies, forever etched in the collective memory as the ultimate escape artist. The money, the parachutes, the meticulous planning, all were instruments in his grand performance, a carefully orchestrated disappearing act that continues to baffle and intrigue generations later. Was it about the money, about escaping a life he no longer wanted, or simply about proving he could do it? We will never know.